What would you do if you could speak any language in the world without studying anything? Would you get a better job, live in an exotic country, or just impress the pizza guy? I always dreamed about traveling the world, but I could barely speak any English. Sure, I had it in school for years, but I was always corrected and interrupted. So 1 year ago, I changed my strategy and I became fluent. And here's how. First, we need a foundation on which we can build on. This foundation for me was, of course, my school. But don't worry, if you didn't have your language that you want to learn in school, there are many of sources out there. Just check out some videos, books or apps. Your level should be like mine 1 year ago. You should understand English. For example, if you read something, you should get the main message, but you don't have to get all the details. With speaking and listening, you should be able to build basic sentences. For example, basic questions like, "Oh, how are you? Can I help you with something?" So we laid our foundation and now we can speak basic English. The problem with that is that we don't know English good enough. We aren't used to English and therefore we have to surround ourselves with English as much as possible and to increase the difficulty over time. That means, first, change your phone to English. Second, stick these little post-its with the English word on it on everything you can imagine in your house. And third, watch at least 1 hour every day English videos with subtitles. Every time we don't know a word in the video, we stop it and guess it. Maybe you have a clue from your own language or from the context. Just try to guess it as good as possible. And if you don't know it, fine, just look it up. The reason why we want to do it is because if we are guessing, we want to get it right, of course. So our brain thinks intensively about this word. Therefore, our brain won't forget it so easily, especially if we have to guess it for the second, third or fourth time. Our brain will think, bro, not again. When you are at this point of time where you barely have to look up any words, you can go to step 2. This step is very simple. Just remove the subtitles. At first, it will be a little bit uncomfortable because you got used to the subtitles. And also your rate of looking up words will skyrocket for a few days. But don't worry, this will go down again because you get used to not having subtitles and just relying on your ears. And that's great because in a conversation, we also have nobody that holds up shields and say, "Oh, that's the subtitle here." That won't happen. Also, we want to start now our training of the speaking and writing skills. After every video you watched, you stop for 3 to 5 minutes and just summarize in your own words what were the main points of this video. You got comfortable with listening to videos without subtitles? Great! Let's speed it up a little. Go to 1.5 or maybe to 1.75, or if you are really crazy, you can go to 2 and just listen to the videos. I would recommend 1.5. It's a good trade-off of being able to listen to the video and also understanding everything. Over time, you will see that you don't have to concentrate so much on your listening. We want to practice this even further. We want to become English unconscious. So we listen to podcasts while we are doing laundry, washing our dishes or driving in our car. And over time you will be able to know exactly what's said without having to focus on it. Of course, you don't get everything because you don't pay exact attention, but you will be able to listen to it like a podcast in your native language. At this point of time, you will probably also have your first unconscious thoughts in English. At least this was my experience. Over the last 4 steps, we practice especially our reading and our listening. But unless you are an extreme introvert, you also want to say something, right? So let's train this. Just start talking to yourself all the time. For example, grocery shopping. "Oh, I need a cucumber, a tomato and a lemon." "Oh, where can I find the lemon? Oh, there it is." Just explain to yourself the whole word in English. Believe me, it sounds dumb, but it's incredible helpful. You can also try to find speaking buddies. For example, comment under speaking videos or in forums or something like that. Maybe you can comment under this video and maybe you get a speaking buddy. In my 5th step, I finally made my dream come true. I traveled to Bali. I always wanted to do that. And there I got the best advice I could give every person that learns a language. Because I always were told in school, oh, that's the wrong tense, that's the wrong subject, that's the wrong if clause, something like that. So I got very, very scared. Do I make a fool out of myself when I speak English? Do I embarrass myself? Am I really so bad? And I never spoke English because I was so embarrassed. But then in Bali, I had to speak English, of course. And I asked the Balinese people, do you have a bed for tonight? Because I needed a bed for tonight. And the Balinese understood me. He didn't care if I used the wrong tense, the wrong subject, or the wrong if clause. He understood bed tonight. And that's all that matters. And that's exactly what I learned. A language isn't there for perfection or for getting it right with the grammar. A language is there to communicate with new people, to learn new things, to get a new culture and a new perspective, and to grow as a person. And I hope that you with your language can grow as much as I did. And if you want to grow even further, stay tuned and subscribe to this channel because there is more to come. Let's grow together.